Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. I'm Milesy. I'm in the hot seat again tonight. We've got some guests joining us this evening, and it is a special show. Normally tonight would have been Claudio and Jim Brown's podcast coming out on the channel. That will be tomorrow night at 7:30. So tonight we're doing a special because we've had a couple of fans message us this week regarding ticket situations. So we're going to be talking about tickets. With the seats being released this week, have you renewed? Have you moved your seat? Have you had any issues with the new rules for disability and all that sort of thing? Have you had any issues? Let us know. We do know the club watch the channel, so hopefully they will see some of these comments tonight and they'll see the show and hopefully they'll take some of it on board. But before we get on with the show, let's get housekeeping out of the way. Here we go then. So as we do every single week when we put the show on, come on, if everyone at Wembley put a £5 down on this statue, I keep saying it every week, we'll have enough for a Mark Robins statue as well. So come on, get your £5s out. It's only a £5, less than a pint of beer at the football to the old donation there. Head over to the appeal page, ccfc.co.uk/statue appeal, or the account number if you want to donate £500. You are more than welcome, and you can have your name put on the statue as well. We also have Claudio and Jim Brown's new podcast that is out available now on Spotify. Head over there and listen to it if you're at work or you need something to get you through the evening, if you're still at work, or if you're on your way home in the car, or you're at home and you've got nothing to do after this show, then tune in, or you can watch it tomorrow night from 7:30 on our channel and our pub crawl. Yes, Sky Blue Fans TV. We're going on tour. We're going to go on tour at least once a month around Coventry and Warwickshire. And we're starting the season off with a fixtures release forum down at the Engine Inn in Kenilworth on the 26th of June. So that's the day the fixtures come out. Come down. We've got 3 chip butties for you. Arrive at 7. Going live at 7:30. It's going to be an absolute brilliant night. It's a great pub and it's got a great little atmosphere in there. So if you want to come and join us, please do. And also, if you know of any pubs locally or where you live and you want us to come on tour, then please let us know tonight. I'm making notes on my notepad and we've got a meeting next Saturday and I'll pass all the details on during the meeting. And we'll try and get everyone booked in. So if you want us to come and visit you near where you live to make it easier, we can do that for you as well. And don't forget to stay tuned because we've got some big news coming each week for you anyway. Right then, let's get this show on the go, shall we? Let's get our regular in. He's the encyclopedia of Coventry City. He's nearly as good as Jim Brown, but he's not quite there. He's nearly there, but he ain't quite there. Anyway, here's Claudio. Good evening, Claudio.
Miles, I'm definitely Robin with Jim Brown being Batman, that's for sure.
Well, you're definitely ahead of me, mate. I'm nowhere near it. So,
but the new podcast, it's great, and of course with the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings today, I mean it just fell nicely in line with doing the war years, Coventry City, the war years. And it's not just about Coventry City; it's about things that happened during the war and in the city itself, in the country and elsewhere in the world, all to do sort of football related, and some fascinating stuff. Excellent. Yeah, really good.
And later on in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about old programs, what was in content. We're inside the old programs. We've got that coming up later on. But let's get our guest on, and we'll have a little chat about a couple of things before we get into the ticketing. But let's bring him on. Good evening, Dan. It's your debut. Good evening.
How you doing? Good evening, lads. Cheers for the invite.
No problem. No problem at all. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks for coming on. Now, we've got a few announcements to make, Dan. I mean, this is brilliant. Jay De Silva making his debut for Wales. Absolutely brilliant. So congratulations to Jay De Silva. And we have, where is it? Let me scroll. I've got so many things on here to scroll through tonight. We're delighted to announce Luke Bowers signed a new contract for the Sky Blues as well. I don't know if you heard his interview this afternoon. He says he's hoping to go out on loan. So he's looking forward to that. And to be on the bench against Ipswich, and I think it was Ipswich. There's a couple of other teams as well. He was on the bench for them, on the first team bench, and he was over the moon for it. So congratulations, Luke Bow. That is the future. Now, before we start, Dan and Claudio, Claudio, we know you got your silly flag up in the background. We don't, we really don't care about Italy. But let's have a little look at Gareth Southgate dropping players. So Jack Grealish isn't going to the Euros. Harry Maguire, James Maddison, Curtis Jones. Can you pronounce that next one?
Jarrell Kwanzaa.
That's it, Kwanzaa. And Trafford and Braithwaite is not going. Now, here's the team that is going. Here we are. So there's your team. I can't read that from here. So if anyone can read that out, can you read that out? Yeah,
Henderson, Pickford, Ramsdale. Defenders, Dunk, Gomez, Gay, Konsa, Shaw, Stones, Trippier and Walker. Midfielders, Trent, Gallagher, Kobe Manu, Declan Rice, Adam Wharton. How can they get hit? Oh, never mind. Yeah, forwards, Bellingham, Bowen, Eze, Foden, Gordon, Kane, Palmer, Saka, Tony, Watkins.
Yeah. There you go. So let's come to Dan first. Dan, are you an England fan?
Yeah, I've said to Claudio before we come online, I'm very much club over country any day of the week. But yeah, I will follow England, in the major tournaments. I won't sit there whilst they're playing a friendly against Azerbaijan and watch them, because I think it's pointless, those sort of games. I think we should be playing at a higher level, even in friendlies. So, World Cup qualifiers like that just don't entertain me at all.
Yeah. And Channel 4 hasn't got the best commentary anyway, has it?
I don't think any of the mainstream media channels have got any decent coverage of the football anymore, to be honest.
No, it's all going downhill. All going downhill.
Yeah.
And what do you make to that team? Do you fancy it or not?
I think the midfield looks relatively weak, if I'm honest. I think that's the biggest one from that. I think obviously I'm going to have the thing with Henderson because he's a past Coventry player, but Henderson for me would have just maybe have given us a little bit more when we go against the likes of Italy, Germany, Spain, all those sort of teams. France look a bit young and a bit. They look like they've got to learn in that team, and it's not really one for learning. We're not in a learn. We need to win this tournament, really, in my opinion. It's not really a stepping stone tournament. We need to go and win it. So for me, I would have perhaps put in Henderson in there.
Yeah. Claudio, what do you make of it?
I think the defence is pants.
Yeah.
I think it's weak, that defence. And I don't understand why he's stuck with Maguire all this time to then not take it to a major tournament. Because to be honest, for England, Maguire's sound, isn't he? I mean, not everybody's cup of tea, but he's a solid defender. I think he got a lot of respect from me as well in the Wembley game, to be honest with you, as well. The way he reacted to the Coventry players and stuff, I think he actually come across very well that time as well. Well, I don't understand. In previous tournaments, we've wanted Southgate to put in a bit of young bloods in there, and and then this time, when you think he's going to be a bit safer, he's brought in a load of lads he's not really tried. Adam Wharton instead of Grealish or Maddison. Are you kidding me? Aren't you?
I think Will said to me earlier that it's Maddison's decision. I think Maddison wants to stay at home with his family. I'm not sure if they've just had a newborn or whatever, but he apparently the story is that Maddison wants to stay home with his family and have some quality time with them. I think it was his decision. As for Maguire, he's injured.
Oh, is he? Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So I think his injury hasn't helped him, and it hasn't got any better. and we're always taking players to these tournaments injured, as we know, and it never pulls off. So it looks to me like he's just going to go all out attack and try and score as many goals as we can and not bother with a defence in it.
I've got to say, Miles, that's weak from Maddison. These tournaments don't come round that often.
No,
Your career is not that long, is it? He could spend years with his time having, with his family having quality time. That's a poor excuse.
Yeah.
That's a Spursy excuse. That is.
Let us know in your comments what you think to the England team, guys. Let's just let us know what's occurring and see what you think about the squad. But apparently we were favourites to win it, so we'll just have to wait and see. And we'll probably get our regulars on during the Euros, CJ and all that will probably pop on and tell us about what's going on. So Claudio and Dan, we've seen your comments this week about the Sky Blues and some issues with ticketing. Tell us a little bit about what's been going on out there for us, because obviously we're not in your situation, so we don't know what it's all about. But let us know. Let us know what's happened.
I think Dan should tell us about his background as well, because he's been around the club for years. So it's good to hear his backstory.
If just give you a bit of context to me as a supporter, and then I'll just jump in with some of the issues that I've had recently. Been a season ticket holder for 32 years. There was one season where I couldn't bring myself to purchase a season ticket, but I stood on a hill and watched it. That was at Northampton. I've arranged Sisu protests before. I've supported Sisu protests before. I've arranged the 5K to MK. I don't know if you remember that, guys. The following year, we did 9,000 to MK. I arranged the 2,000 to Swindon away in League Two. Arranged that one. Did the Rise of the Phoenix campaigns. So not everything is negative or anything like that. I'm very much a forward-thinking, positive fan in general. Not really one to complain about stuff, and I'm always looking to try and support the club and push it forward in the right direction and galvanise fans, if you like. But when something's not right, I have a say on it, and if it's not right, lost your connection there, boys. There we go. But the first time it really became an issue for me was at Wembley against Luton. If you recall that game in the playoff final.
Yeah.
So we had issues with getting we had issues with getting tickets for disability online. So it kicked you out when all this process was going on and we were trying to get tickets. It would kick us out, and then you wouldn't be able to get back on, and then so on and so on. And then by the time, because obviously I live in Leicestershire, so by the time then we got over to the ground, had to queue up for tickets, we were sort of 3-4 hours behind everybody. And then you've got a number of disabled supporters and people with not necessarily mobility issues here, I'm talking about, but other issues as well. But they're all sat in the gods at Wembley. And for the club to have on there, and it's still on there now, is about if you have any problems, contact the ticket office, come down the ticket office, or email the club. Or personally, I don't think that's good enough. You try and call the club, you can't get through. I know that there's a lot of fans that get through and stuff like that, and they don't have any issues at all. I think you've got someone coming on later. But what I would say to that is there was hundreds of fans on, was it Monday or Tuesday this week, that were outside that ticket office with problems. So regardless if one or two have been okay with it and absolutely fine, something needs to improve. It's not just been this season; it's been since way before Doug King took over. The ease of access for disabled fans and people with needs, in my opinion, needs to be the easiest way for us to purchase tickets, easier than any other supporter, because of the actual fact they need. So there's certain people that cannot, mobility issues even, for example, but they may need to rely on people to take them to the ground or make arrangements, so those people should have, in my opinion, some sort of hotline to go straight through, direct to somebody on the phone, be it in a queue for half hour on the phone, but they get through at the end of the day. They shouldn't be asked to go to the ground, to the stadium, and queue up for 2 hours and then pay £6.50 at the end of that queuing up period either. So for me, I think Doug really needs to look at it for next season. One of the issues that I had with it was that when the club made the announcement, it was a couple of weeks before the season tickets went on sale. So those people on medium rates, like my daughter, for example, we then had to then obviously pay out for her, but that was an expense that we didn't believe we were going to have. So that gave us a few weeks, but that's okay for me. And again, it's fine. I'm financially okay to be able to do that. But it's saying about me. This is about other supporters where that's an outlay that they didn't have.
Dan, you say medium rates. What are the categories? Because obviously I've never had to deal with this. So what are the categories?
What they've said is that from previously it was medium rate to high rate. So medium ban rate and high ban rate, they would get a free carer, free assistant basically with them. Now this year they've chose to take away the medium rate. So there'll be families out there which had medium rate children and medium rate adults, whatever it may be, who went along as a free carer with those medium rate people. And the ones with the high rate, like my son, he's fine. We still haven't got it yet. That's another story, but they will honour that one. Eventually, we just need to get the information to them. But the medium rate people, the fans with the, daughters and sons that have got a medium rate capacity, if you like, those ones have just been, okay, right, you guys go to one side and you need to now pay for somebody to come with you now. So like I say, for me, I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford that change. But what I would have liked the club to have done is maybe put the announcement out this year, ready for next year, and make the adjustment next year and get the house in order about, the grounds for appeal, grounds to say case by case basis. Now they say it online, they say it all on there, and there's grounds for appeal and everything else. But let's get your house in order. Let's say, okay, we're not going to bring it into effect this season, but this is what we are going to do next season. So it gives families, one, the ability to save up a few weeks to get that money. Again, not talking about myself, because I'm fine with financially for that. But then ultimately to allow people to have that, that time in which to, okay, I'm going to need a carer now for this many games, and have those discussions as a family about who's going to take that person now, because that's something that they may not have had to think about.
And Dan, so you're saying then, so last year, if you're on a medium rate and a high rate, you all got a carer's ticket. So does that mean that one person pays a season ticket and the other person gets
so you pay for the age equivalent season ticket for the person on the medium rate or the high rate. So if that person was a high rate adult, you'd pay the adult season ticket, but you'd get a free carer. And if you paid the medium rate, let's say for example my daughter, you pay an under 14 season ticket and you'd get the free carer. Now the issue for me is my son's on a high rate, but he's more able inside a football stadium than what my daughter would be. So my daughter's she's 10, my daughter. So when it comes to things like going taking her to the toilet and stuff like that, up until the age of probably 8 or 9, I will often taking her in there into the gents' toilets reverse as you do as a kid, and you take them in and you go in the cubicle and you do everything else. But she's very peculiar around things like that anyway. And I'd go in there and have to wipe the seat forward because I'm taking her into the men's urinals. You could imagine, and she'd be very fussy about stuff and a bit like she going into too much detail. But I can't no longer do that. But I got a season ticket for my daughter this year and a free carer. But with the fixture changes this season that have gone on, or last season, sorry. 2 or 3 games last season, I wasn't able to get a carer. So, for example, my wife and my sister would come along with us. She'd take Emily to the toilet. Now, there was an occasion where I had to ask another female supporter who I knew, but just to take her into the toilet for me, because she I don't want to no longer take her into the adults toilets. I think it's a safeguarding issue. Now, the club have said to me that I can use the disabled toilets and you can have a key for the disabled toilets and so on and so forth. The problem is that not everyone wants to be. Not only that, she doesn't even know she's got a disability. So it's difficult for everyone in all these different circumstances to be able to say, right, okay, that medium rate is the same as that medium rate, and that medium. Do you see what I mean? So they need to do it on a case-by-case basis. They've told me that my case is not good enough to accept somebody to go in along with Emily. Now, I was going to get 6 season tickets this season. I'm now getting 4. I was going to purchase a further 2 for my wife to come along and for my other elder daughter to come along. So they've lost that. They've lost out either way. They've not gained any money from me this year by making that move. I won't be buying the replica shirts this year. That's just because I just think it's just making a stand against what they've done, really. But I don't think it's right. And if I don't think it's right, then I'll make a stand against it. It's not going to make a difference for shirts, but that's just how I feel. They won't get that sale from me this year because they think that they can just make an extra 100, 200 quid. It's financially, it doesn't bother me, but it's the moral side of things which is annoying.
So Dan, going back to the categories, and I mean, Wayne Vaughan said this, and it's pretty much what I'm going to touch on. And Wayne saying, how is it decided if an individual is medium or high? Who decides that? Is that a medical decision, or is it by the club have decided? Who decides?
No, so it will be through. They would need like a DWP letter or in receipt of benefit via PIP or DWP, and there will be categories on those letters which the club need to see. Now, my son's had that for how many ever years he's had it, been a season ticket holder for the last 10 years or so. Now, with that, he's had a season ticket. Now, the thing is, he's got a letter to say he's got it till 2026. Now, I've sent this letter numerous times, and this has not been a case of, oh, it gets last minute and then we've made a decision. Why haven't you renewed your season ticket early? Blah blah. I've been on contact with them for over a month now about this issue. They've seen numerous letters. They can even see things like EHCP plans, stuff like that. I'm talking as my own case, but they've got enough information there to make a common sense, the right decision in my eyes. And they've chosen not to, and that's fine. And that's completely up to them. If they think that it's gonna make it a couple of £100 more for that, that's fine. But I'll just choose to not buy a 14 ticket for a shirt. So it doesn't really matter. But
so why do you think they've brought it in then? Do you think the club maybe suspect people have been abusing the carers ticket? Is that what you think?
Yeah, I do. I think there's been a few people that have neglected the carers ticket. I think there's a bit around how do we maximise the revenue in this stadium for the people that are in there. And I think if they was to say, okay, we've got 3,000 people, for example, that are on medium rate, well, there's 6,000 seats taken up straight away. 3,000 of those are free tickets.
Can you sit anywhere, by the way? How does it work? Or do you...
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can sit anywhere with the carers. Yeah. I mean, I'm in block 8. I'm in block 18, and you can sit anywhere with the free carers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lady whose her son's autistic, and she was panicking at the start of the season because she wasn't sure where to park because she was no longer coming with her husband, just her and her son. And I just said, I saw it. It's like an appeal on one of the Coventry City Forum, and I sent her a private message saying, I'll tell you what, you can come with me and my son. It's just me and my son. Come with me. You don't have to worry about where to park. It's all paid for. And she said, that's really kind of you, but my son is autistic and will struggle to sit in your car because he doesn't know you. And I mean, and for me, that doesn't. Obviously, I can't comprehend that because I've not dealt with anything like that. You see, and I thought, okay, so Yeah, so it's not easy, is it?
So just to clarify, so my son's on the autism spectrum. My daughter's currently being assessed for a similar thing. Now, I would say that when I go to a football match, my daughter needs me because I'm the opposite sex. So she needs my attention more, and for her age, she needs my attention more than my son. Although my son's on a high rate and my daughter's on a medium rate. So in that sense, the club doing what it's done is not really helped me. It's a frustrating one, but it's also the process and the way they've gone about doing it. Like I say, they should have put their intentions out this year, or at least consulted a few of the fans. At least maybe they have. I don't know, but. It doesn't feel like it felt like everything got dropped on us on a bombshell, as a bombshell.
Well, they didn't really consult with the point system, did they either?
No.
That was just brought out on a whim.
The point system's another thing. I mean, obviously, I used to do the admin for the football, our main football page.
Coventry City Fans Forum, yeah.
Obviously, I was removed from that. Because again, if I think something's wrong, I'll put my neck on the line. I'll say it's wrong. I don't think that fans in my privileged position have got a lot should then go and purchase tickets to increase my points and then to sell them to supporters at an extortionate fee. I think you need to look after your own. You don't do that to other fans. And I know it was happening. I'm not saying everyone that were doing it were happening. Some were face value, but there were people contacting me as an admin saying, "Can you sort this out? I've just been robbed by, such and such, or, they've charged me this or they've not supplied the ticket or whatever." So I stopped it. I says, "Look, I ain't having it anymore." I started taking them off, the comments off. Me and a lad called Ash, we started taking the comments off. Some of the other lads said that they didn't want any problems between the admin, and we had a bit of discussion to and froing about whether we should allow it or not. And I disagree with it. I says, "Look, I don't think it's right. We shouldn't be doing that to our own fans." So I said, it was illegal, and that we shouldn't be doing it having it on the page. The page would get took down. And two, obviously, like I say, we're a fan base. We're up until recently, we were a close-knit, smaller fan base than what we're becoming. We put 10, 11, 12,000 season ticket holders at one point. Now we're pushing 20, 22, 23. So the fan base is growing, but people have got to remember that the core values of being a Coventry fan, in my opinion.
I think the problem we've got at the club at the minute is the fan base has grown ridiculously quick in the last 3 years, and I've not moved with it at all. I don't know what you think, Mars. It feels like we've sort of plateaued, not thought we need more staff, we need people behind the scenes, we need this, we need that. It's the same people dealing with 5 times as many problems, and then I'm not sure they're equipped to deal with these problems as well.
Yeah, I don't think, we know the club used to be run on a shoestring. We know that when we dropped to League Two, we were bottom of League One, and we dropped out into League Two, that it was very much run on a very small budget, very small members of staff. Mark Robbins was doing a lot. There was Mark Hornby doing, I think, 4 or 5 different people's jobs. Same as Jody Jones was doing about 4 or 5 people's different jobs. Where in a normal club or normal business, you would have someone designated to do certain roles, in big businesses. And it's a big business now. And it has gone from 3,500 sitting at the CBS on a January and February freezing cold night to 25,000 every week. And to me, it doesn't look like they have made extra employment. Ticket office, I haven't been into the ticket office for a couple of seasons, so I can't comment on it, but I do know that whenever I had an issue, last season, the season before, and the season before, when I was trying to get through to buy an away ticket, and it was saying, "Oh, there's none available," and I was on at 10 o'clock in the morning straight away, and I would ring up, and the ladies would go, "Oh, hello, Miles." you had that personal side to things.
Yeah.
And I just think maybe it's being understaffed now. And that probably hasn't helped matters. Dan, can I just say, like you said, I agree with you. They should have probably put this out there and brought it out next season. I think what you've said is absolutely spot on. But have you looked at any other clubs and see if they do the same at all?
Yeah, there are other clubs that do similar, but from what I've seen and what I've understood from other supporters of other clubs is that was sort of always the case in many of those. That was just their banding was always high rate and so on. So it's not actually changed as such. But I don't blame Doug for doing it, because the way I would see it is that if this club's going to be in the Premier League, and if he wants to increase ticket sales this season, and you've got 3,000 people that are going in as free tickets with medium rate people, then you've got 3,000 fans there that have gone in for free, and he wants to make 3,000 lots of 500 quid, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's there's the conundrum that he's got. He's got a majority filled stadium with 3,000 tickets that are going free. We've got concession tickets. Ideally for him, he wants everyone paying £550.
Yeah,
everybody. That would be the ideal situation for every chairman. But the dynamics of it is going to mean that ultimately he's made that decision to take away the medium rate. So, I've got no real issue with him taking away the medium rate, and then have a look at it as a case by case basis with people in a fair manner. But give us a year, make an announcement like this year, bring it out next year, and allow fans to contact the club and have that dialogue over a full season. And say, this is why my daughter or son or nephew or niece needs the support. Now, me, my daughter, my son, we go to games home and away. There's been other fans telling me and getting in contact with me that say that it'd be a nice idea. It'd be a nice idea for fans to, with disability seats and things like that, to be all at the front row on away games, so that people that do like to stand up, and I'm one of them. With my son and my daughter, we like to stand up, but those people at the front, maybe those front two rows to be disability tickets only, and they can have the choice then to sit down or to stand up at those away games.
The thing is, with season tickets, it actually, on the scheme of things, it doesn't raise that much revenue when you think about it.
No, it
to run a football club,
no.
and the fact we don't own our own stadium, we can't even monetize a stadium. We've still got this issue with the catering and all that. We're hardly getting anything of that. We hardly get anything from the car parks. We own nothing around the ground, pretty much. So you got that issue. So the actual, we're not making a great deal from season tickets. But what you will lose is the goodwill of the fans who have come back, and a lot of fans have come back who had stayed away when Sisu were there. And this is the problem we've got now. And Doug King's come in. Hold on, Dan. Sorry, Doug King's come in, and I welcomed him coming in big time. Me and Miles, we've been championing Doug King all the time. But sometimes you've got to step back and look at everything. You can't keep saying everything's perfect when obviously this isn't for a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I know people that not everyone's situation is the same, and but it's still people need to be treated properly, and if they're sending in emails, they need to be replied. I sent in an email about something to do with the season ticket, saying about the exchange thing, where basically, why can't you put you name 5 people that could use your season ticket, obviously, but only so many times a season, so it gets used, so you haven't got an empty seat. Because towards the end of last season, when some people realised we weren't going to the playoffs, I mean, I'm block 18 with you. I'm about LL. The 2 or 3 rows behind me were empty. People were, and yet they were full all season.
Yeah,
you see, but no doubt somebody else could have used that ticket. And I just feel like they're punishing the wrong people at times.
Yeah, just two secs, guys. Gary's waiting in the wings. We'll bring him in just a sec. Just a few housekeeping stuff again, just to remind everyone. If you haven't already head over to Spotify, please do. Episode 8 during the war years, 1939 to 45, Sky Blue History Podcast with Jim Brown and Claudio, our very own Claudio. That's available on Spotify, and it will be available tomorrow night from 7:30 as well here on Sky Blue Fans TV, so you can watch the chaps talking about it, and it's coincided with the 80th anniversary of D-Day. So I'll tell you some of those stories I was seeing on the news tonight. There's a guy, 104 years of age, and he don't even look 104. Couldn't believe it. June the 26th, join us at the Engine Inn in Kenilworth. Yes, Sky Blue Fans TV. It's the first one of the season. We're going on tour all season. You're going to love it. If you know any pubs that want to get in touch with us, please do. Wes, I've just seen your comment. If you want to DM me, mate, I'll give you a phone number. You can get in touch with us. Let us know what pub it is and everything. We'll come out to your pub. We'll do a live show. We'll have a forum. It'd be great. We'll pass the microphones around. We'll have a few jars. And at the Engine Inn, we're going to have 3 chip butties. Arrive at 7. We're going live at 7:30. So that's the house. Oh, and one more. Don't forget. George and John statue. Come on, get a £5 in. Everyone who went to Wembley, put a £5 in. We'll be way over it now, and we'll be able to get a Mark Robins statue as well. Right, let's bring him in. He's sitting in the wings. We'll come straight back to you as well in a minute, Dan. Good evening, Gary.
Hiya.
How are you, guys?
I'm pretty sound, thank you.
Good. Now, Dan's just been telling us about the issues he's been having with disabled tickets, what was it again, Dan? Mid and high.
Yeah, it's regarding the removal of the middle tier, if you like, banding for fans.
Yeah. And Gary, you've bought a season ticket this year. How's it gone for you?
Yeah, I mean, I had no trouble at all. And I paid that £500 as my son does also. You know, yeah. I believe in the new owners. I really do. And how it's gone up, you know, the season tickets. Do I like it? No. Do I pay it? Yes, because I want this club to be back where it belongs. Yeah. So I'm going to do it. If you have, you know, like the previous owners, where you're becoming a bargain basement because, you know, the money, like the guy just said there, we don't own this, we don't own that, we don't own, you know, some of the training ground probably. They've sold everything off. Now, maybe this guy, you know, I've met him at the end of the season of Worlds. I believe in him. I really believe in him, and I would back him to the hilt. I
mean, Dan said that, you know, it's you said that out that you know, you don't hold it against him, but you think it should have been your situation should have been put back a year. I mean, Gary, this £500 season ticket, I'm on it as well. Couple of others of us are on it as well. I mean, do you think that's a good way forward for the club?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do. You know, for the next 3 years, I'd pay it. But what I'm saying, I do agree with him that there should be like levels and sort of communicating out that, you know, this is what, you know, and probably meet the fans and like this. Because families and that, they should have like a bit of a concession somewhere in the block. I do agree with that. But me personally, you know, it is down to everybody's affordability. And there should be areas, and I don't mean it disrespectful at all, that can sort of have a cheapy seat, if you like, or a cheapy season ticket. And I do agree with it. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I'm in block 15, you know, and, you know, yeah, I pay it. I don't begrudge it at all. I don't like it, but, you know, but I'd pay it because I'm 64 with the first year I went down to watch Coventry. Yeah. So, you know, I've seen a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But at the minute, I would certainly believe in this guy and I would back him. And I would encourage anybody that can afford to get up there to go up, generate and do what they can to get this team where it should be.
Yeah. And like Dan's talking about this middle and high disability tiers, do you think that the club have done a boo-boo here by announcing it straight away? Do you think something should have been looked at and then put to a vote? The reason I'm saying this, right, and I'm going to say this, that it maybe it could have gone to a poll where the fans had a say. I've got a program here, right, and this is the reason I'm saying this, Dan, and you'll get me in a minute. This program is Nottingham Forest, 30 pence. What year was this again, Claudia? 1980.
Yeah, 80.
1980, and there's a bit in here about the fans, right? And I'm gonna tell you a bit about this, right? I love this. I think this is brilliant. I'm gonna find the page. Hold on a sec. I'll get to it in a sec. Hold on. It's here somewhere. Right. Cop this. It's a section in the program. Now, maybe this could have been an idea, Dan. I'm not too sure, or Gary or Claudio. Cop this, right? Okay, in the program, they could have put something like this. And this means, I'm going to tell you what it says. Fans say no. Sky Blue fans have rejected the idea of Sunday soccer at Highfield Road. There you go. So, in a survey conducted by the Sky Blue Matchday magazines, 65% of our fan base said they wanted to stay with Saturday afternoon soccer. 25% wanted Sunday afternoon, and 5% said they wanted to try it on a Friday evening or Saturday evening. Now, that would have been a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been, but I mean, even that now is a mockery because they're playing every day of the week now through television rights.
Yeah, but I'm on about Dan's situation about the disability tickets and that. It would have been a great idea. Put it in the program, have a poll, and do it that way, wouldn't it?
Miles, show them the page you want to show.
Oh no, I've got that coming later.
Oh, yeah.
I've got that coming later.
But also, Jimmy Hill totally ignored the fact that the fans didn't want an all-season stadium, and he still went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
And but the fans did, show their disdain because we lost an average of 6,000 straight away.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous idea of what we had.
No, Dan. So you bought 4 tickets now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're.
Well, one of my season tickets, for my son, my high rate son, they want an updated letter, even though it says 2026 and his high rate banding on the letter. They want a letter stating 2024 on it rather than 2023 on it. So I've sent one over today, but whether or not that'll be good enough for them to just use common sense and sort it out, I don't know. Other than that, I'm waiting for the DWP, like many families, to send something over to us that I can prove the fact that my son's got his autistic and he's never going to be off the autistic spectrum. But there we go.
But does that mean you're going to lose your seats?
They've said that they're going to hold it until I think it was the 7th of June. Now that's tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Now this is another thing. They've said that they're holding it till the 7th of June. I've got to contact the DWP. This was on Tuesday this week. So I've contacted them. They've told me it's about a 10-day turnaround for a letter to get to my house. So that would have took it past the 7th of June.
Brilliant.
I then seen in the comments on Facebook yesterday that the club have now turned round to somebody in the queue and told them that all these ongoing ticket seat holds are all going to be held until I'm not going to name the name of the person, but until they come back off annual leave. So it's just a mess. It really is. It didn't need to. And like I say, if they had had some sort of consultation and said next year this is what's going to happen, they could have got the house in order. They could have requested it halfway through the season, and everything could have been done, and everyone's appeals could have gone through if they wanted to appeal the decisions and stuff. And it would have been made a lot easier. I don't think fans should be asked to go to the stadium, especially, people that don't live in the area that travel to games. Like I say, I live in Leicestershire. I work 5 days a week. My wife has to go over during school hours to go and stand in the queue for 2 and 3 hours. If you can imagine me trying to ask her to do that, it's quite difficult. So she would have to then go over there 2 and 3 hours and then still not get a ticket. And then pay £6.50 the privilege of standing there. That's just another thing to add insult to the injury, mate. But yeah, you know, I completely agree with Gary. Like, absolutely, I'm 100% behind Doug King and the football club. But I think Doug just needs to sometimes just take a seat, forget that business. That is the right thing to do business-wise. Right now, it is the right thing to do. And I used to be a middle tier manager with a number of businesses up and down the country turning over £1 million a year. Now, sometimes what's right sometimes isn't always the best way to just go bang and go and do it straight away. It is a good idea. I do believe that it is the right way to go to push this club forward. I just don't believe it's the right thing to do, not especially to me, because financially I'm okay, but to other fans that didn't realise they had that outlay, now have that outlay to pay for that additional ticket. That could be up to £500, for example. Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, in fairness, he has backed down on certain things, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, yeah.
So it's not like they don't listen. And I've got to say, the man fronts up all the time, which is we've not had that for 15 years, wherever it was.
Brilliant.
And he does, and he does it way more than any other club owner I've seen in football in recent times. I mean, the guy from Man City finally showed his face yesterday, didn't he? Because they're putting in their bit with the Premier League now, trying to appeal against something or have a go at them. They've decided to front up now, but he's been nowhere to be seen, has he?
I think the thing around the disability tickets, it's not just this season, it's not just last season, but I've had Dave Body call me on the phone before regarding things about disability tickets and so on, and being invited to disability forums and stuff to air my opinion. My things are around ADHD, autism, things like that. Now, there's other people that are less fortunate, more fortunate, whatever, in much tougher situations than what I am with my children and stuff. That may have more mobility issues, high rate mobility issues now, or medium rate mobility issues, whatever they may be, you know. And then people are going to be affected, you know, just as much, if not more, than what I am. But my thoughts are forget what it is, what my situation is. I'm just talking on behalf of other fans and people that are in that queue. Talking to my wife the other day, and he you know, appreciate Gary's. He's not had an issue with it, and I agree with everything he said about supporting the club and doing all that lot. For me, this year it's been difficult. It's been the first time in 32 years where I've thought about not renewing my season to get over the Northampton.
Listen, just before we carry on, because I want to ask Gary about. I heard he mentioned 1964. 1964. You've been following him, but hold on. I've got some cracking news for everyone. Jay De Silva's just got man of the match for the Wales game.
They drew. They drew 0-0 with Gibraltar.
Don't matter. He got man of the match. Don't matter, does it?
No. And he wears the sky blue shirt.
Exactly. He got man of the match. Well, we'll get some comments in a minute, Claudia. You can go through them all.
We have got Gary, a lot of comments.
Here. Was it 1964? You said you started following us?
Yeah, 64. The first one was Colchester at home when George Hudson scored the winning goal.
Wow. And I mean, how old were you back then, if you don't mind me asking?
I was going to say 1. God, I've got 10.
10. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And you followed them all the way through?
All the way through. And I lived in a village called Iron. That's where I first started. And I've been all like, is it Dan? I've been Leicestershire ever since. Moved around Burbages and Shilton and all that lot.
Hey.
I even married a season ticket holder. My wife is Leicester. I'm sorry, guys, but that's the way it is. I mean, she got me daughter, but I managed to collar my son and get him down there.
Well, if it's any consolation, Gary, I've took of my wife is all her father and that are all Leicester fans, so I've took one back.
Four. But
So
I did like it on our home game because she didn't talk to me for a couple of days, so it were heaven.
I was going to say, how was that? How was that? How did that go down?
Yeah, it was the worst one with her was the cup game when we beat them at Filbert Street.
Right.
And we were up in the double decker and we got her through out. Me and my son did. He loved it, but she never spoke to me for 3 weeks.
And I'll ask Dan this question as well, but we'll come to you first, Gary. What's been your most memorable moment over the years that you've been, because the last 7 years have been wonderful, but apart from the last 7 years, what's been the most standout moment for you, do you think, following the City?
Well, obviously the cup final, but the league game of it was Wolves when we went up, and there were about 53,000 there. That was absolutely, I was just starstruck, and that was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm too young for that.
Oh, thanks for that.
Claudio, eh?
No, I was only 2 then. I was 2.
I mean, what was that? Because I've heard lots of stories about that. Was you one of the ones that got pushed to the front, sat on the side of the pitch, or what?
Well,
where were you that day?
Well, to be fair, in the early days, we all the kids got sort of pushed to the front, you know, with father sort of behind, but we all managed to get through. So, oh yeah, here he is, let him through. We all got there, and I always remember the games, 60s and that. We used to have a rattle, but we were all sitting all around the wall, so we were all on there with that rattle with blood all over and all that lot. But yeah, even in them days, we did get forward. We weren't sort of stuck where we were on a box or anything. But you know, it was better. I mean, now it's just uncontrollable sometimes.
And where was you at Highfield Road? Where was your favourite place to be?
Or the West End.
West End boot
West
boy.
End.
No. Yeah, I remember all them Sparrow, Hatchet, and all that lot. Yeah, we had some good times down there.
Brilliant. And Dan, I mean, as I just mentioned, the last 7 years have been unbelievable. Have you got a memorable moment that you can really point to and really say, you know, this is why I'm a Cov fan?
Loads, really, mate. I think the first game that really springs to mind, so just popped up in the comments when I was a young lad, was Huckabee's run against United when we won 3-2. That was at obviously the old Highfield Road. That was one where I was a bit younger. I remember the game well. More recently, I'd say the game that really stands out for me was a Notts County away game. That was the one for me. I think as a club, that game was pivotal to everything that we're doing now. Because we turned that game around. We got a fortunate penalty, if I remember rightly, in the home leg.
Yep.
And was it 1-1, I think, or 2-1 or something like that. And then the second game, we just took Notts County apart, and then from then on, we went from strength to strength. Obviously, we won it, and then the following year, and things that you got the promotions and stuff. I think it just lent itself to Robins building momentum, and that momentum didn't stop, and it hasn't stopped. Going into the now Doug King era, obviously the Wolves game was one to get through to Wembley again after thinking we'd lost it with minutes to go. I think that one was. I remember giving my lad a little bit of a punch in the side, and I says, "Oh, you get your head up. We ain't lost this yet." I says, "Get your head up. We haven't lost this yet." And then when we scored 2 late goals, and I says, "Look at what we've done before. He's got his head down like this, and you've got Dave Kay next to us and that." And I'm saying, "Get your head up like this." You know what I mean? So yeah, that was another one. In my eyes, we beat Man United 4-3. No one's going to change that for me. You know, we won the FA Cup this year, in my opinion. I think if we'd have gone to Wembley this year against Man City on that performance they did against United, we'd have beat them too.
Yeah, they looked hungover, didn't they? They did look hungover.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about that Wolves game, my lad, and I couldn't say anything to him, and I could see what was going through his mind. And all I was saying to myself, I could feel my lips moving as well. I was talking to myself, going, one more chance. We just need one more chance. Pull it level. That's all I kept saying to myself. I could feel my lips moving. I was talking to myself. And we got that one chance, took it, and then we got another chance and we took that. It was just unbelievable, wasn't it? Right, let's get some comments in. There's loads of comments. Are you all right to stay, Gary? You all right for a bit?
Yeah.
Right,
You all right, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah,
on,
right. I won't put them all on the screen. I'll read them out because it'll be quicker because there's quite a lot here. But we've got some good evenings from Janet, Dave Saunders, Glenn, Paul Hughes, and your average Cobb fan. Also, your average Cobb fan says, "Are you happy with Doug's plan, RE season ticket pricing, etc. over the last 12 months?" The fact they've stayed. Well, apart from the new premium ones, they've stayed the same. So I can't complain when you look at Sheffield Wednesday at 700 quid plus. So we've got, in terms of the pricing, it's pretty good. I mean, I was paying 400 quid the season we got relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah.
So, I paid 400 quid this season.
Well, can I just say about prices? Here you go. This is at my little program. Here you go. Look at them prices there. So those prices, I've got to find my page again. Hold on a sec. I didn't want to bend the pages. Claudia, can you see them?
Yeah. So main stand, Sky Blue stand, £2.40 and £3.20 and £4.20. The West stand, £2.20 and £1.10, £2.40 and £1.20, and uncovered seating enclosure was £2. But what's interesting is the senior citizens and concessions were half price, weren't they? Pretty much.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what that equates to now. Probably about 10 quid, probably.
Did anyone go to the games at Highfield Road when they used to play the reserve games? They used to have the one stand open and they used to have a 5p sheet of paper. Yeah. They were the first ones I remember.
I've got this as well, look, from in the programme about, good job you pulled that up. Well done. I reckon you've all read my script tonight. So in the second page, and this is what we don't do in our programmes as well. In the second page, it's got the team news, as you see there. And then it's got Tuesday, 2nd of December, Sky Blues versus Watford in the League Cup at Vicarage Road. Wednesday, December 3rd, City Reserves versus Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. And then it's got Saturday, December the 6th, Sky Blues versus Southampton at the Dow. Tuesday, possible League Cup replay. We don't put in the young lads' games in the programmes or anything, do we, anymore, to tell the fans where they're going to be playing and what time and everything else. It's another thing they should put in the programmes now, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Caroline's social media. That's where you tend to get the fixtures nowadays. Someone will say they're playing up at Alan Higgs. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Not that you can go because it's like 2:00 in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead and carry on. More comments.
Right. Yeah, average Cobb fan. Are you doing a live show from the Sky Blue Tavern next season?
We don't know yet.
Don't know.
We don't know yet.
Alison Berry, evening everyone. What a great night. Jay, you guys, and Casey. So I presume it's Casey playing for Jamaica. Are they playing tonight, are they?
Oh, shall I have a look? Let me have a nose. While you're reading them out, I'll have a nose.
John must have been replying to somebody. She put no because mine will cost 400 because I've no carer for my granddaughter. Right, so does that mean she's paying extra? Does that mean?
I imagine because she's got no free carer now that £400 she'll have to fork out, which is what I'm basically saying. So some people that £400 they would never have had to think about paying this year because it wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Jamaica are playing at 9:30.
All right.
that'd be
There you
good.
go.
Luke Carter, if the aforementioned chip butters are not on slices of bread, then I believe it's a chip batch.
It is a chip batch, but it's not a chip batch. It's chip butties.
It's a cob.
So
not
Wayne
a
Littlewood,
It's not a cob. It's a batch.
It's a cob.
Wayne Littlewood, evening all from sunny and hot Crete.
Oh, who cares?
Got evening all from Hector. Where's Sky Blue? Oh, you've done that because you wanted the details.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Luke Carter said I never have a problem calling the office. Well, I'll tell you what, next time I call them, Luke, I'll get you to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Luke Carter, needed disabled supporters group. Well, that kind of is one. There is one, just forms right opposite Old Trafford, is specifically built building for disabled supporters group.
Yeah, but that goes back to saying goes back to what we were saying. You've got people who are doing 3 or 4 person jobs. Like Dan said, the person they need to speak to, they're going to hold the seats till they come back off annual leave. Well, I'm not being funny. You should have someone covering for that person while they're on annual leave.
Could I just say on that point as well there, Miles, you've got to think these people are not just mobility. These people may suffer from some sort of anxiety as well and things like that. And they've now got the anxiety of that going on, and it's building up because and there's all sorts of issues. And this, I'm not just talking about they've got to open their mind and think about people's emotions and their own disabilities. They can't just think it's medium or it's high and that's it. There's more. It's more complex than just that.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Paul Cuttiford, I have mobility issues and I can't even get the club to let me leave my mobility scooter on the viewing platform. I have to suck up the damage that is caused by leaving it on the concourse.
It's true. Yeah, Paul sits behind me, and we always see him outside the turnstiles, and he has to leave it in the concourse. He can't take it into, where you've got the balcony. He can't take it in there and leave it in there.
Glenn, we are running as a League Two club off the field still. We should be aiming to be the best club at everything on and off the pitch.
Yeah.
Janet, my granddaughter is autistic and she likes to sit where she is always sat, not in the family zone. So her is 125 and mine is 400.
Wow.
The club, this is from Glenn, the club are giving a lot of extra work for Jody Jones to do now.
Yeah. This is what we were saying, Glenn. We were saying that these people are doing 4 or 5 people's jobs where you should have one person dealing with Dan's issue. You should have a person dealing with supporters like normal season 2.
It's got a bit fuzzy there. Alex Craig, obviously Dan is saying he won't be buying shirts, but I wonder how many people haven't renewed because of this. Ideally, they just want a profit, but it's just pushing the fans away. Glenn said, surely the Disabled Support Association has been set up to navigate issues like this. I've been to the supporters forum thing with Doug King and some of the other Bedworth supporters, London supporters, and it's, you submit questions, but it's all very nice. There's nothing too controversial at these meetings. It's Janet, I've not renewed. My other granddaughter is waiting for an assessment for ADHD as well, and she would need under 18, and I am a widow, I presume that is. This is true, Glenn. No autistic person is the same as another autistic person. It's not a black and white situation.
No.
It's what is needed support-wise. Paul Cutterford, the Disabled Support Association is not doing its job because it's still in its infancy, and Jody Jones has been moved up the ladder away from this sort of problem. Glenn, replying to Alex, I agree, Alex. I don't want COP to turn into Man United, West Ham, etc. We treat fans appallingly regarding tickets and season tickets with red tape and rules. Janet, plus last year put the senior citizens age up, so I paid extra last year, and now only 2 months off.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing. Talking about that. So Gary, do you get a pensioners one, or you? No, because you bought the season ticket.
I did get concession one, yes, in the others, but since this £500 one come out, I took that option up.
Yeah, because my cousin Martin, he had a senior citizens one before they upped the age. Really, what the club might have been able to do there is those people who already had a senior citizen was keep that honoured.
Yeah.
New season ticket holders who were senior citizens would have to be 65. I think, and Martin then had to move to the family zone to get a cheaper ticket, but he takes one of his granddaughters anyway, so it works out win-win. Both tickets cost less than what it would cost him to sit in where he was sitting before, so that's a win-win in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an idea for you, lads. If Doug King wants to make a bit more money this season, he's done away with issuing new cards for season tickets, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
So what you do next season is you issue blank season tickets to everybody, and then you go to the ticket office and you get your own personalised picture. You put it through the thing that they've got at the ticket office. You charge a fee to have your own personalised season ticket. You want to make a bit of money, come up with some sensible solutions, things that people might want to buy into and put the money into. And I think you'll be better off than taking out on the medium rate disability group. Yeah,
that's a good idea. I didn't know you could do that. That's a good
idea. Well, it's a ticket printing like you do with your bank cards, but you go there, you've got a card which if you don't choose to do it, it'll be a white card, it'll be a blank card. But if you do choose to do it, you go in there, you take your picture like you would in Asda or Tesco's or anywhere else. You put your card in, you choose your picture from your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever. You select that picture, it prints it out onto your card, and then you've got a personalised season ticket. Everyone's got their own personalised season ticket. You charge 10, 15, 20 quid, whatever it may be, for the privilege, and then you've made a bit more money, haven't you?
Brilliant. I like that. Oh. That's ace.
James Hollyoak, it's a tough one. We all want better players, etc. So someone has to pay for it so I can see what he's doing, but maybe it's done in the wrong way. James also says they need to stop adults buying children's season tickets and using them. I mean, they are trying to clamp down on that. I mean, you've still got some clowns probably doing it. Janet, last year, the ROP, this year, the children disability. West Sky Blue, I think you read that. De Silva's just got man of the match for Wales game.
Yeah.
This is from Luke Carter. Unfortunately, football is a business nowadays and money buys success.
We know that. Yeah, brilliant. No, brilliant.
Paul Cutsford, I've been waiting 3 months so far for this year's PIP letter.
Wow.
I'm not surprised. West Sky Blue, it'll be good enough. My son's had 2023 on it and it said it has to be 2024. Sent them that and our tickets are sorted now.
They see that. I think he's responding to the comment that I made earlier on, but they actually seen the letter. My wife's next to me. She actually took the letter, that actual letter that had 2023 on it, and they said that wasn't good enough, even though it said it was valid until 2026, and it had the fact it had how much money he gets on the banding he gets, and all. They said it wasn't good enough. So anyway, so I'm still waiting for that additional ticket, but yeah.
This is from Alex Craig. Clearly, revenue is huge for Doug. Increased revenue in the season tickets, pre-season friendlies at home, all following the FA Cup run, and huge money from the sale of Hamer and Jokeres. Of course, they've not spent all that yet, have they? And there's going to be more coming in probably. West Sky Blue, best moment. And he mentions the first ever game he watched was the Huckabee run against United. Dave Saunders, team sheet for reserves with 2p when I first went to them. I think you'll find there were threepence, Dave. Or 2 and 6. Luke Carter, it's okay having supporters group, but those running it need to be working side by side with the club. It needs to be part of the actual club. West Sky Blue, I find the disability supporters group is aimed more at blind, deaf, I think that means, mobility people rather than every disability, if that makes sense. I'm just going to put something to Dan here. Now, for those watching, they may realise who Dan is, but Dan was kind of infamous a few years ago, weren't you, Dan? The famous phone call. I mean, basically, never leave a game early.
Never leave the game early.
Can you tell everybody you're the famous Dan, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I was very drunk. We've heard this story many times. I was very drunk. I was born in '88, so '87 was not even a memory for me. So '88, then the first glimpse of success we had would have been that, anyone born after '88 would have been that cup game against Crewe. So obviously I was really disappointed with that, and then obviously we went there and we didn't score a goal, and I was fuming. It was like 85 minutes or whatever it was, and I left and I went to the kebab shop. Then I smashed my phone because I dropped it off the top of the counter, just grabbing my kebab, knocked it off, smashed it. So I was really annoyed, and then I rung Clive and what was it at the time?
Probably it'd be Rob Foster, wouldn't it?
Yeah, possibly. No, I don't know if it was. I think it was Clive. And,
definitely Clive Eakin, yeah.
Yeah, definitely Clive Eakin. But then I rung him up and I just went on a rant. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even hear him shouting "Dan, Dan, Dan." I couldn't hear that because I was that in fume with what I just saw. It was a terrible performance. We won the game 2-0, but it was a dreadful performance.
It's a shame you haven't got the clip, because obviously you're going, we've gone there, we've not tried, we didn't even do this, we didn't do that. We've gone there, we've not even scored, and they're going, Dan, trying to go, we won 2-0, and you're going, I'm not having that. I left, it was 0-0. It was 0-0. They go, no, we won 2-0. But in fairness, we were crap that night as well.
We were so poor. We were so poor.
Brilliant. I love it every time.
Love it. Now, friendlies. Hey, Gary. Gary, 2 friendlies at home. Everton is one of them.
Yes.
And who's the other one?
So Wonder Bremen.
Werder Bremen.
That's the one.
That's it. Both wear Hummel kits, so Hummel have probably had a say in this one. But isn't it fantastic having 2 high-profile home friendlies? Brilliant, isn't it?
It ain't before time, though, is it?
No, it's starting to feel like a real club.
Yeah, we're still looking at that one at the away one in Germany as well.
Okay, you're going to go?
Fingers crossed.
Ken's going, part of our team. He's heading out there, so hopefully, and he's going to have a camera crew with him. Hopefully, heading out that way. So look out for him. But I mean, it is exciting to have Everton come in and Werder Bremen. I mean, to have that sort of high quality teams. I know Everton had all them points deducted last season, and they definitely stayed up safely. It'd be a good test to see how we are against a Premiership side like Everton, who are sort of a mid-table, lower-table team in the Premier League, and see if we could really compete with it, because we've showed it at Wembley against Man United, didn't we? And Wolves.
We did against Wolves, yeah.
It'd be a good test.
Everton as well. Without the points deduction, they would have finished comfortably.
Yeah,
in the Premier League. Sean Dyche has done a good job there, to be honest. What is that to deal with? I think it's great, and I also think I'll put something on social media saying the club should do 30 points if you go, get people up there.
I think people will go anyway. People will go anyway, Claudio.
Well, I just think I thought that when we played Wolves, but there wasn't near as many as I thought there would be for that friendly. I was disappointed considering we were playing Wolves. I thought, people would love to see that, and it wasn't a big crowd at all.
I reckon everyone has got a season ticket. We should get a ticket each, free for both games.
Can you imagine that?
There you go, Doug. We want 2 free tickets for each game, please. That'd be nice. Or the proceeds could go towards the George and John statue.
Yeah, could do that. But I think they should do then season ticket holder free, but you can pay for, like, you know, you're free, but you pay for somebody else to come, maybe.
Good idea. Brilliant.
Yeah, but
I think the points incentive's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the away games when they said. I
Games.
mean, I didn't go to Exeter away last year, but that's a hell of a trek for you
it's
guys
brilliant.
who did go to Exeter.
Yeah,
I think
great day out. Great
Whoever
day out.
went should have had points for that. I'm sorry, but that's a mad trip for a pre-season. And
Oh, brilliant.
the
day
away
out.
end was packed. It was packed, wasn't it? The away end.
Yeah, loved it. It was a great day out. Sun was shining. It was brilliant. And I'll tell you what, that was a good choice, actually, because a lot of people from Coventry go to Devon on holiday. And it was the week of the holidays. It was the start of the holidays. And even my cousins, they went down to their caravan near Exmouth, dropped everything off, jumped back in the car, and went straight back to Exeter. It ain't that far from Exmouth. It's about a 20-minute drive. But people down there on holiday, it really worked for a lot of them. Natalie, who's been on the show, she went and visited her family and best friend near Woolacombe. So she travelled up that way, stopped there the night before, travelled down to Exeter. We drove down on the day. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant weekend.
I did similar for Swindon away. Do you remember we played Swindon away pre-season? I think W made his.
But that's Swindon. Hold on a minute. That's not Exeter, is it?
I know, but what I'm saying is my mother-in-law.
Hold on a minute. How can you say it's the same? It ain't the same.
The situation's the same.
An hour and 20 minutes in the car. Exeter's 3 hours in the car.
No.
It's the same.
Let me finish. My mother-in-law lives in Wiltshire. So I said to Caroline, how about we go and see your mum at the weekend? And she went, that's a great idea. And because they live on 6 acres, a mother-in-law and my mother-in-law. So they were going to do camping in the fields there at the house. And I thought, sod that. I want to go and watch Copland at Swindon. So me and Luca went, I'll tell you what, we'll get a Swindon. We'll say we're going to, and then we get there and go, well, we're not really. So on the way, we sort of hinted we're going to go and watch the football. Caroline went with the girls to her mum's and ended up camping in the field. And me and Luca went to the football.
We're in League Two then, weren't we? That was League Two. That was the first pre-season in League Two.
I think probably, yeah. Well, I know Dabby made his debut. So was League One, was it? Had we just gone up? I think we just gone up.
Just gone up.
Just gone up, yeah. We were all, that's when Jamie Allen did his thigh-in.
That's it.
Pelvis.
Yeah.
The pre-season friendly.
Now then, let's have we've flipping it. We've got some pictures. I've took some both of you, Gary and Dan. Claudio sent me a lovely program last week. Right, it's this lovely program here, and he's got a second edition to this that he said he's got for me. I hope he's got for me. Now, this was a program, and you'll see on the front the Duke of Edinburgh there. There he is. Look, there he is. Right. And he opened the Sports Connection. There he is. So he opened the Sports Connection. Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Gary?
I can't remember that program.
Is that Jimmy Hill?
Jimmy Hill.
Yeah,
Jimmy
I
Hill.
remember that, yeah. I remember the connection, but I can't remember that.
Well, he
opened
through
mine.
Yeah, so he went and opened it. This was one of Jimmy Hill's marvellous things he did for the club. And on the back page are the Talbots.
Talbot, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so all the players got a sky blue Talbot.
That's correct,
And they drove to France in them, didn't they, Claudio?
Yeah, that's right.
As part of a PA stunt. So they all drove over there. Now, the reason I got this program, and we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight. It's quite nice, actually. I showed you a couple of pages earlier, but there's this one page I want to show you. I'm going to find it first. Hold on, so I can read it. Right. It is now. Would you believe this? You'd never see this, right, in a modern day program. Okay. Can you two guess what it might be? It's something really random that you wouldn't see in the program. Have a guess. Go on, Gary. Have a guess. What do you think it might be? Something really random.
the cheer girls that they used to have.
No.
I knew
no.
it.
Go on, Dan. Go on, Dan. What about you?
No, I wouldn't have a clue. The only thing I could think of that we don't see in programs anymore is all the sponsors and stuff with the players' names on and where they work as sponsors and that. But no,
Okay, I'll
no
give you a
idea.
clue. I'll give you a clue. It involves computers.
I know what you can say.
Here you go. Will make you a believer in computer dating.
Oh,
There was
God.
Yeah.
So there's a form in here that you can fill out. I've got it here, look. Right.
Wow.
One of my mates in there, I
Why-
think.
What, you still using it?
Hey, yeah, I'm going to fill it out now. I'm
Well,
going to do it now. I wonder if it's still going.
not back in 1980. That's how I met my missus.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's still going. Here, I'll search the address.
I don't think the woman's on there that you're looking for. That'll look the same now.
Right. Now, listen. Now,
All
how,
right.
how would this like? Let's pretend I'm filling this out. I need your help.
Right.
So the first question is, right? First question is pick one of these people. So you see the women, pick one of them. And then it
Right.
says, do you consider yourself, right? This is me. Oh, you got to choose it from me. Shy,
Yeah.
extrovert, adventurous, family type, clothes conscious, generous, outdoor type, creative, practical, or intellectual.
It's definitely not the last one.
We're struggling with them lot, didn't we?
Oh, gee.
Is there
Okay.
other? Is there another? Can you put
No,
other?
no,
I had
there ain't.
another, yeah.
No, there ain't. But I'll tell you what, I'm crying here and I can't read the next one. Anyway, we'll move on from that one. But can you imagine that was in a program? Right, what else did we have in the program back then? Oh, this is what I want. I want to do this on the show. I think we're going to look into this, and I think this is going to be great. Right. So puzzlers and quiz,
Oh,
quick quiz. So on the, but I want to do this. Look, this silhouette. I want to do a silhouette competition on here. I'm going to figure out how to do it, and we're going to do it instead of doing spot the. Well, we'll do spot the ball, but we might do silhouette as well. Now it hasn't got the answers in it. I think it was in the program after. Claudia, have you got the program after? It might have the answers to the silhouette.
Not on me, no.
No, okay. Don't worry about it then. That's fine. But it was I like this. So it was guess who's in the crowd? Any of you two in the crowd?
Definitely not in that
Can't
crowd.
wait to be in the crowd. One looks a little bit like Claudio.
No,
Yeah,
no.
You know.
I'm in the posh seats. You won't get me behind the fence.
Gary, is that you there?
I doubt it. I'm more like a silhouette.
Who do you think the silhouette is?
I can't work that one out. I was looking at that and I was like, no.
I don't know.
Well, the way I ain't got my glasses
Oh,
on,
well,
it looks like Jennings. But
Yeah, I don't know who it is. Right, and they do a
Oh.
did you know? So here's a question for you then. How many league appearances did Ron Harris make?
Blimey.
Hmm.
It's got to be in the 600s.
Oh, have a guess. Have a random guess. Go on, have a guess.
633.
585.
33.
585, 33. Dan, have a guess.
480.
Okay, he made 655 league appearances.
Close.
Yeah.
For
It's
Chelsea between 1962 and 80.
Mm,
you go.
Peter.
And then it just goes on. There's another one here. Ipswich Town won the first division in 1961 and 62.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Coventry City's record victory was 9-0. Who was it against?
Bristol City.
It
Bristol
was against
City.
Bristol
Yeah,
City,
yeah.
1934. 1934. There you go. Fantastic, isn't it? So that's one thing in the program. I think it's great. And then there's another one. Oh,
Oh,
So this was when they opened the connection. Now, do you remember a few weeks ago I was saying that I got a free kit when we were in the Junior Sky Blues? This
Yeah.
was one of the free kits we got. Can you see anybody in the photos? Can you recognise anybody?
Well, you're not grown, that's for sure. It's the same size you are there.
My brother's in there and I'm in there. I'm in the same line as my brother. So yeah, in the middle there. And we and we used to play football with the players as well. Oh, you can't see it, can you? That's the one you sent me, Claudio. But we were in teams, and I was in Mick Coop's team.
Yeah, you
So,
can see your name in there, Miles Cadden, yeah. Under
Yeah.
nines.
And do you recognise anyone in there, Gary?
I can't see it, to be honest. I ain't got my glasses on, so
Oh, okay, no worries.
if I'm on here again, I'll just put my glasses on.
Bring your glasses, yeah,
In the-
definitely.
In the Ray Gooding team, Paul Shepstone, he played in the 87 Youth Cup final.
Yes, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I just think it's great looking at these old programs, what you used to be allowed to put in them. I think it's brilliant. Right, we've got some more comments before we wrap it up then.
All right. Bear with. So Luke Carr says you can print any picture on those cards. Works the same as ID cards.
Yeah.
Paul Cuttiford. Fulham have showers and swimming pool and soundproof rooms for disabled in the new stand of theirs.
Oh, wow.
Stephen McGovern, I think, was saying Word of Bremen. He's put Wonder Braven. They sound like a good team. Come, Andy, I remember the Dan, funny as you like.
Oh,
Graham Cockle, I said we need to play Prem teams in pre-season.
yeah.
Alex Craig, agree, should be 30 points for the friendlies. Graham Cockrell, Man United would not come and play us because we would win. Steve McGovern, have you got any news on the club shot points? I don't know about the club.
Oh,
I think James Hollyoake saying it's Noddy Holder as a silhouette. I know my season ticket points went on today.
oh, did they? How many you got?
Yeah.
How many you guys got?
1380 now.
Oh, okay.
Last time I checked, I think it was, what was it, 16 something? 40. It'd gone down to 14.20.
Oh.
They took points off us.
Of course.
They took my points off it, but I'm all right again.
They'll go back up again now.
Let's just hope they start the allocation at 2,000. I'll be all right.
Well, yeah, I think anyone with over 1,000 now, maybe 1,100. I think last year they started going up, didn't they? It started at 1,000, and then it went 1,100, then it went 1,200. You know, but
They need to. I think, Dan, what do you think? I think they need to stick to a policy. Just start it. I don't know, 1,600, 1,200, 800. Then you got people with 800 plus have got a chance of getting a ticket as well. Probably. I don't know. It's too.
The thing is with it as well is that they release it on stupid times.
Yeah.
So they give you, even the people with 1,200 points, 1,400 points like myself, they're releasing it at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. And that's no good that's no good to most people. Most people are at work. So yeah, it's not going to suit everybody. No decision will ever suit everybody, but you can't release it at 10 o'clock. Then at 11 o'clock it goes, or at 12 o'clock it goes down to 1,000, and then so on and so on and so on.
I do agree with that, Dan, because they could move that a day early to on the Sunday when a lot of people are there that could do that. I agree with that.
Yeah,
It's a good idea. It is a good idea. Or do it, if you're going to do it on a Monday, do it 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But when people finish work,
Yeah, fair play. Yeah.
It's just daft, isn't it, how they do it sometimes? It really is.
There may be reasons behind it, but it is silly.
One last comment. Paul Cutford coming in says, my points have gone back up to 1330. They did drop to 1,100. Yes, which is all good news. Right then, we've come to the end of the show. Let's just give you a few rundowns of what we've got coming up for you on the show. Sunday, we have the history of the club crest. So I won't be here. Claudio, Ken, Victoria will be here, and some special guests probably. They will be talking about the club crest. It has changed over the years. You want to see how many pictures I've got of the crest? Unbelievable. So that's coming up tomorrow night, 7:30. You can watch. That's the wrong one. It's at the bottom of the page. That one. You can watch episode 8 of Sky Blue History Podcast during the war years, 1939 to 45, with Jim Brown and Claudio. That is available now. If you want to go and listen to it on Spotify, please head over to Spotify. If you're at work, you want something to listen to. It is brilliant. I had it on at work today. It's absolutely fantastic. So please take a listen to that. If you want to watch the guys, they will be on tomorrow night on here. It is the recording. It will be going out at 7:30. It normally goes out tonight, but because we're doing this special, it will go out tomorrow night for you on Friday night. And if you're not doing anything tomorrow night and you're in Leamington, I'm doing a karaoke. Hey! Disco karaoke down at the Greyhound in Leamington Spa. Pop down, come and say hello, have a sing-song, watch the England game with me. We'll have a couple of beers, and we'll just have a good night. So if you want to do that as well, don't forget to please donate to the old George and John statue. We really appreciate it. We want to get that statue ready for next May, get it outside the club shop. And also, we are going on tour. First show, 26th of June, the Engine in Kenilworth, fixture release forum. Come down. We're going to have a chat about all the fixtures, which fixtures you're looking forward to. You're going to travel to the seaside, whatever you're going to do. And we've got 3 chip butties. Arrive at 7, go live at 7:30. It's all going on. And don't forget to stay tuned, because we've got new news about Sky Blue Fans TV every week. And if we get any more updates about the Sky Blues and the kits and the sponsors and everything else, we will be the first ones to give you the news. So stay tuned. Guys, have you enjoyed it? Gary, have you enjoyed it? Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Thank you so much. Dan, all good. Thank you.
Been really good, mate. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
No problem. And both of you, come on anytime you like. Just message us when you want to come on. We'll send you the invite and you can come on anytime.
Good luck with your tickets, Dan.
Yeah,
Cheers,
good luck.
Gary. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. You'll get there. You'll get there. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. Claudio, you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I have. Just get ready for Euros. Come on. In my Italian accent. That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Come on.
Brilliant. Yeah, whatever.
Right. Warwickshire, follow Italy. That's how you do it.
Get rid of I'm burning that flag. I tell you, I'm getting rid of that. Right. Thank you, guys. Thanks again. And thank you, everybody, for watching and commenting. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd much appreciated. Take care, everyone. The guys will see you on Sunday. Play up Sky Blues.
Keep the faith.
Play up Sky Blues.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.